Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, mahaba, moni moli wanji, namaste, jambo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jevly, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast. We are coming to you from the beautiful neighborhood of Reedville in the southwest corner of Boston, Massachusetts. We are so delighted and honored that you are joining us in our mission to help families grow closer through reading. Please be sure to subscribe to the show in the iHeartRadio app, on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Ghana, Himalaya, wherever you find your podcasts. Our guest today is Jenna Brown. She is here to tell us about an organization called Love Smiles that's helping kids battling cancer all throughout the world. Before we invite Jenna into the studio, we would love to invite you to join us on social media. So many places to connect on social media. Facebook.com/readingwithyourkids. At Reading With Your Kids on Instagram. We have a great Reading With Your Kids page on Pinterest, and it's at Gently Magic on Twitter. When you connect with us on social media, that's the best way to enter our book giveaways. We love giving away books. It doesn't cost anything to enter. All you need to do is to like and to share our book giveaway announcements on social media. And if you want to join our book giveaway contest, you can also contact us at readingwithyourkids.com. Send us an email and say, hey, I want to be entered into the contest. Joining us right now from right outside of Chicago in the great state of Illinois, our guest today is the founder of a really, really neat program. It's called Love Smiles. Please welcome to the show, Jenna Brown. Hey, Jenna, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm really happy to have you here. Calling your organization Love Smiles is really appropriate because you've been doing nothing but smiling the whole time we've been talking, and it's fantastic. You just have a really big, bright smile that just is radiating happiness and positivity.
Well, thank you. And I tell you what, just talking about Love Smiles gets me so excited, and it's been so great and brought so much joy for us as a family that we love being able to do that for others.
Awesome. So let's find out what Love Smiles is all about.
Yeah. So Love Smiles is a pediatric cancer nonprofit. It came about last year after my daughter was diagnosed with pediatric cancer at 4 months old. And I just had to get out of that crazy headspace, and you need to do something because I'm better when I'm busy for myself. And I ended up really thinking about the times when I really felt good and when I didn't worry about everything she had going on. And it's when she and I sat with a book. And I'm an avid reader, and I want her to be one. And I thought, how can I take those few minutes of just peace and relaxation and give those to other families going through the same thing? And it kind of just snowballed from there. And we've gotten a bunch of authors on board, and they record fun videos, and illustrators record fun videos. And it's growing every day. It's been wild.
That's wonderful, wonderful. Before we go any further, I just have to ask, how is your daughter today?
She is incredible.
Awesome.
As of June 1st of this year, she is in remission.
Awesome.
So she kicked cancer's butt in a year.
Hey, that a girl. I am proud of her. And I love that she's out there stomping old cancer's butt. That's really important. So that's fantastic. Now, I know a couple of the authors that I saw featured on your website have actually been guests here on the podcast, Sabrina and Eunice, and they were a lot of fun. So I'm imagining they brought a lot of fun and happiness to your program.
Their video that they recorded is so stinking cute and just so much fun. I laughed because I teased that my daughter and I get to be the previewers. So I watch them with her before we put them on the website. And she just sat there smiling and got all excited at the end. And I said, all right, good. That one passes the test. We'll give it for everybody.
That's wonderful. I definitely want to talk about where you folks are helping kids and how people can get involved. But to me, the idea that thankfully both of my kids are healthy right now. They're adults. we had a really minor scare when my son was probably 5 or 6 months old. He was sick, and a technician misread an X-ray, and so they immediately thought what was chest cold was all of a sudden that this heart issue. And I know, in a second, I turned into a monster that wasn't thinking at all, and just, where am I going to go to help my kid? Can you just share a little bit about what your reaction was when you heard about your daughter and how you got through that?
Yeah, it was a wild thing. We found, my daughter was 2 months old. We found a little lump on the side of her neck. And being the way that we are, I immediately thought, oh my gosh, she has a swollen gland because we have dogs, and went crazy. My husband laughed. I bought air purifiers. We did the whole 9 yards, And we contacted our pediatrician, and we were seeing her in 2 weeks. And she said, well, just keep an eye on it. We said, okay. We went in to see her. She said, I don't think it's really anything serious, but let's go to an ENT. And we said, okay. So we went to the ENT. They looked at it. They also drew some blood and sent off to a thyroid specialist. And they had kind of prepped us in that mindset of she might have a thyroid issue. It might be medication for her whole life. And we were like, okay, that's easy. That's not a problem. After that all came back fine. So the ENT had explained that sometimes when babies are born, they have undeveloped tissue. Mm-hmm. So he told us, he said, I really think that's what this is. And we did a CT. She had an MRI, blood work, like you name it. We had done it. And we said, okay. And he said, but we need to remove it right away. And I'm looking at this little baby like, really? I don't know. And he said, no, it sat on her carotid artery. Mm. And he said, we don't want it to get bigger and push on anything. So please, let's take that out. And we said, okay. And we agreed, and they prepped you for what that looks like, and surgery on the baby. And we said, okay, we can do this. So she had surgery. They removed the whole piece. It was great. It was a 30-minute surgery. That was wonderful. We ended up in the hospital for we were there 7 days afterwards, just because she had trouble swallowing, which they said was not uncommon because of the muscles and everything. And a doctor came in one day, and he sat me down, and he said, can you tell me about the lump in your daughter's neck? And I was feeling real good about it at that point, and said, oh yeah, it was undeveloped tissue. It was nothing. They got that whole thing out, And he looked at me and he goes, no, that was a malignant tumor. I immediately forgot what all words meant. Nothing made sense to me in the whole world. I sat there holding my baby, thinking, no. And I looked at the doctor and I said, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong room. And he said, no. And I said, no, she just had tissue removed. She does not have cancer. And he said, no, the pediatric oncologist will come see you later today. And he left, and it was this crazy whirlwind of, because of COVID, I was there alone. They were giving my husband day passes. Mm-hmm. So he wasn't there yet, but we lived farther away, and I didn't want him driving. I called my mom, and they live close to the hospital, and I said, hey, I think they just told me that she has cancer. And I have no idea what else I said to my mom on that phone call. No, I don't remember anything else. The nurse came in and she says, what can I do for you? And my mom's on the phone. She goes, tell her I'm here. I'm like, but you're not. And she goes, no, I'm here. So that was a good 15-minute conversation I have no memory of whatsoever. They got my mom upstairs. My husband came. The pediatric oncologist came. We were grateful they let my mom stay the whole day with us, so we had like extra ears to hear everything. And when the pediatric oncologist came in, I was sitting there holding my daughter, and he said, hey, I want to start out and tell you she's going to be okay. And I'm looking at him like he's crazy, but she has cancer. But what does that mean? She's little. And he said, no, she's going to be okay. And I just kind of sat there, and it was the strangest day. I remember every single detail about it. in regards to what I was doing. Things that I said, things that were said to me, everything just kind of stopped. And it was, what do I need to do? And we ended up in the hospital a few more days so that they could run extra tests. And they told us that she was diagnosed with neuroblastoma, one of the most well-researched pediatric cancers. And basically that there was this roadmap that we would go through to determine if we were monitoring her and everything. We monitored for a couple months, and then she had to do 8 rounds of chemo. And that was wild in itself. Babies handle chemo so much better than adults do. She sat there for 8-hour days with the nurses and played and had fun, and would come home and would have a diaper rash. And that was the extent of it, you know, and she lost all of her hair, which the joke was we didn't realize she lost it because she had such little to begin with, that it was that, like, in the moment you didn't realize it. And now I look back at pictures of her first birthday and I'm like, oh babe, you didn't have hair or eyebrows? I didn't even realize that then. And now she's got like a pretty good head of hair going for her. So it's a wild thing, and your whole life stops.
Sure.
Nothing else matters to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much where I went, was nothing else was important.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else mattered.
Yeah. And where you said to us that, you know, you deal with things best when you're busy, and that was part of the motivation for you to get Love Smiles together. But understanding that you do better when you're busy, and then actually, because there are a lot of people who understand, well, I am much better when I do this instead of that. And, you know, the world is full of those people who never do this, and they keep doing that. Where did you get the strength to actually say, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna turn this tragedy into something amazing?
And it's funny that you say strength, because I say distraction.
Okay.
It was my daughter would go down for a nap, and I would do laundry, or, you know, your normal household stuff that you do when you have a baby, wash bottles and all of that. And my head would just start going to, okay, we have this appointment this week. We have to go here. We have to see this doctor. And I kept telling people I needed to stop, because I had it all organized. I had it all written down. I didn't need to keep running through it all the time. And it was coming home and people saying to me, your baby's going to be okay. I think we had a little survivor's guilt in that, because you hear some of the stories and you see things, and not everybody's baby gets to be okay. So it was kind of taking just all those feelings and saying they need to go somewhere, because they can't stay. I refused to have any negative feelings around my daughter when she was going through it. It was, we're going to keep things positive. We want her to feel that energy, those vibes. And so it was just kind of all right, let's take all of this, the guilt that you have, the need for a distraction, the need your mind to run on something else, and just pushing that to say, let's do something positive for other people. And that gave me relief. Since I've laughed, and I've always said it's been my selfish distraction, because it literally gave me some peace and some ease to say, okay, we're doing something for somebody else, because we're okay. And it was a very weird thing, very weird for me.
Interesting, the way you perceive this. It's like, well, I did this, and I know it's helping others, but I did it from a really selfish point. I needed something for myself, and that's okay. That doesn't diminish the wonderful things that Love Smiles is doing for families.
Yeah, and I've had people say, you can't call it selfish, and I said, yeah, I can, because it helped me. I helped me first, and then I was able to do this for everybody else.
And I think there's a great lesson for all of us, and just it's a great reminder that when we are kind to others, we benefit from it. Now you were in a place where you just had to do something for yourself, and I need something for myself, and this is going to help me, and it's going to help me get through this. We should never, go out thinking, well, I'm going to do this nice thing because it's going to make me feel good in the end. But the reality is, when we choose to be kind to others and to give ourselves to others, that's when most of us experience our greatest joy.
Yeah, and it's been it.
Yeah.
That has been it. We have had so much fun with this. I have met some of the most incredible people. And I said, now thinking about it, I look at it and I say, and how cool is this to be able to tell my daughter when she's older?
Mm-hmm.
To say, hey, look, something really crappy happened. But look at all the good that came out of it. And I think as a mom, I totally want my kids to know that.
Mm-hmm.
That bad things happen. And sadly, that's a reality. But it doesn't mean it has to stay bad.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So tell us how you gave us an idea of how Love Smiles works, but is it just serving kids and families in one hospital, or is it something that everybody can benefit from?
Everybody can benefit from it. We are currently in 10 different hospitals across the country. We've gotten a few more reach outs that we're coordinating everything with to get into those. So we're spreading. We have a website and an app. So we have content that's available for everyone. But the stories themselves, the videos, are specifically for pediatric cancer families. These videos are just for them. Mm-hmm. This is a special thing because when you meet these kids going through this, they're incredible. Mm-hmm. They are incredible and they deserve the whole entire world and then some. And so we wanted to give them something special, but still be able to give a little bit for everybody else too. So on our app, when they download the app, the story feature has a code. And they get their passcodes from either their social worker from the hospital or a child life specialist or someone involved in the pediatric oncology team is able to give them the passcode. And then these families, they can watch these stories as many times as they want. I constantly have been adding more and more to it. I think we have about 30 stories in our library right now for them. We've gotten some really neat illustrator stuff where they've been doing like the draw along, because we said pediatric cancer affects kids from, 0 months to 18 years. So we try to vary our content. So we have authors that do picture books. We have authors that do chapter books. We have some YA authors. We have illustrators across that too, who have taken how to draw the main character, or, hey, let's do a mix up and take 3 different animals and mix them together. Because we said we wanted to give them, because sometimes if you're an older kid and you're sitting there, you might not want to just listen to something. You might want to be actively doing as well. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to give them that option. I have some authors right now that also have musical talents that are recording different song videos. I have an author who speaks Spanish who wants to do some like Spanish lessons. Mm-hmm. We had an author who she was listing out all of her things. She makes puppets out of everyday items. And she wants to do videos about that so that kids can do that. So we just said that we want as much content for those kids as we can get our hands on. So we're doing that. But then the rest of the app is this really neat place to shine a light on all of these partners we have. Because it's incredible the people that will come out when you tell them it's for sick kids. Just the people that drop everything they are doing. We have multiple New York Times bestseller authors who literally got me a video within 24 hours. And I said, it's okay. I understand you have deadlines. You have other things to do. Just when you can. And they said, no, this is for those kids. I'm doing it today. And I was floored because I thought, you've got a lot bigger things going on in your life than us. But it's been so neat. So we can shine a light for them, and you can go to visit their website and learn about the authors that are helping us and working with us. And it's such a cool collaboration of a lot of really fun people.
Excellent. That's wonderful. That is really wonderful. Now, we have people all over the world listening to the show, and I'm imagining, thousands of people listening to the show. There's a really good chance that somebody is listening who knows somebody who has a family member that's going through this. They may not be getting treated at one of the 10 hospitals that are involved right now. Is there a way for somebody in that situation to reach out to you and say, hey, look, I don't want to wait until you get to my hospital. Can I take advantage of this for my kid?
Oh, 100% yes. So if they visit our website, they're able to go in and we have different contact forms. So we have just a general contact. So if they fill that out, let me know. It sends me their email. I can email with them and just kind of talk and just hammer out details and be able to send them the passcode. If they know somebody that maybe is an author and wants to do a video or something fun, we have a contact form for that as well. Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure that everybody who wants to be a part of this some way, somehow, can be a part of this with us.
Yeah. Now, I know that the authors aren't getting paid, and this is a labor of love for you, I'm sure. But there must be expenses that are needed to make this run. Is there a way for folks to donate to help support you?
Yeah, we actually, as of today, we just added a shop to our website. So we have hoodies and T-shirts that we sell that have our logo and our website on them. There's also a donate button that they can make a donation through. And we are launching for the whole month of September a Donate a Fox program where for every $10 we get for the entire month of September, we'll be able to send a comfort box to a child battling cancer.
Now, I'm guessing this is a stuffed fox. It's not something that kids are going to have to feed, right?
No. That's too much upkeep. That's too much upkeep for us.
Well, this is really, really wonderful. And you mentioned there's a contact form for authors because we do have a lot of authors who listen to the show, and I plan on blasting this out to my social media following. So if an author is interested in taking part in this, they go to your website. What's your website again?
It's www.love-smiles.org.
Love-smiles.org. So if you're an author or a creative of some type and you want to participate, you can go to love-smiles.org and then find the contact form for artists or authors.
Yeah, it's right at the bottom. We have a page specifically for our authors and illustrators, and it's right at the bottom of that page.
That's wonderful. How long are you planning on running this, Jenna?
Forever. Forever.
I play a psychic sometimes on stage, but I'm not even going to pretend that I read your mind. I just knew that from speaking with you this short period of time that this is really something. It's a labor of love, and it might have started off, to use your words, as a selfish distraction, but it's turned into this beautiful thing. And we're so very, very happy to hear that your daughter is strong and kicked cancer's butt, and that she's going to continue to grow strong and happy. And what a story she's going to be able to tell as she grows.
Yeah, and that's my other reason I want to run it forever, because I want, when she's a little older and when we can actually go into the hospitals, I have authors that want to visit these hospitals with us. Mm-hmm. I have authors that want to hand out books. I want my daughter to go and do that. I want her to go and help give back and try to give to some of these kids herself.
Yeah.
And kind of relate to them a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because I'll tell you what, these warrior kids, they're impressive. They're some impressive, amazing kids.
Yeah, they really are. Here in Boston, we have this amazing place called the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute. It's a hospital for kids. There's something called the Jimmy Fund here, which funds research for juvenile or cancer in kids, and it's really made a huge difference in the lives of so many kids all around the world.
I can tell you we're talking to that hospital currently.
Oh,
we're very excited. We're very excited about
very
that.
cool. Very cool. Well, if you want to cry, just ask them to send you a link to their trailer, the Jimmy Fund fundraiser trailer that they ran in movie theaters for years. It's a minute and you just cry the whole time. And you go, come here with that bucket. I'm just empty my. But it's the tears are tears of joy, because it's like, this is making a difference, and it's happening here in our city, and it's happening all over the world, and you are making an incredible difference in the lives of kids. So I want to thank you. I want to thank your daughter, and thank all the authors and other folks that have been involved in Love Smiles and who will become involved in Love Smiles. Jenna, just one more time, remind everybody of the website, please.
At www.love-smiles.org.
We've had a really inspiring time speaking to the founder, the driving force behind Love Smiles, Jenna Brown. Hey, Jenna, thank you so much for being on the show, and I want to thank you in advance for going over, after we finish, giving your daughter a great big hug from me. Just tell this weird bald guy in Boston, he's about 100 years old, wanted me to hug you. She might be disturbed, but it's fun.
You know what? She's super friendly. She'd take it.
Awesome.
She gets it. And thank you. I'm so glad I got to talk to you today and just share this fun project that we have going on.
Please be sure to join us for the next episode of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be Libby Jackson. She'll be here to celebrate space explorers. That's the next episode of the podcast. Hey, if you're the author of a fantastic children's book, we would love to help you tell the world all about it. Being a guest is a great way to tell the world about your book. Being a guest on the podcast, it's fun, it's easy, it doesn't cost a thing, and it gives you the opportunity to tell thousands of people about your fantastic children's book. We also have a great promotional program called the Certified Great Reads Program. If our panel of teachers, parents, and kids believe that your book is worthy of 4 or 5 out of 5 stars, it becomes a certified great read. And with that status comes a number of really powerful promotional tools that can help parents know that your book is worthy of their consideration. Please visit readingwithyourkids.com. Click on the Authors Click Here button at the top of the page. Scroll on down to Be a Guest or Certified Great Reads. I want to thank the folks who made today's show so wonderful. Of course, I want to start by thanking our guest, Jenna Brown. Be sure to check out Love Smiles. Also want to thank my team, Alejandra Doherty, Fatima Khan. I want to thank my beautiful wife for all the support she gives me. Most of all, we all want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And as always, thank you so very much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for you in the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.